नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानंद सूरये सच्चित् सुख स्वरूपाय स्वामी नेतापहारिणे। Dear Mr. Soni, dear Mr. Sandeep Purohit, dear Mr. Avi Sabawala, other respected dignitaries present here, dear friends, it's always a pleasure to talk to the enlightened audience of BMA, and this time the audience of our GUVNL also has been added. It's a pleasure to talk to you. At the outset, I would like to congratulate All India Management Association for selecting this beautiful theme for this year. Today is the Management Day and also the Foundation Day of All India Management Institution, and I was very happy to know all over the country the same topic is being discussed today. What a wonderful thing, a very important topic, and thousands of essays have come. Even the students have been told to prepare the subject, as I understand. So that's a great thing. It's a very important topic. Only thing is that it's such a vast topic. Managing India is so difficult because India is so vast, the largest democracy in the world, with all types of problems that you could think of in a heterogeneous society. So thousands of languages, hundreds of castes, thousands of types of people, so many varieties of religions. It's all variety, religions, caste, types of people, and between haves and have-nots. Such a heterodox society. How difficult to manage. So managing India is a very vast topic, and transforming a dream into reality. It's a very vast topic. So I will not be able to do justice to the topic. What I have tried to do is that there are so many things I would have liked to talk to you on, so many aspects. For the time limit that is given, I do not talk about them, because there are so many experts who would be talking to you on those so many other subjects. That is, there are so many experts on various fields. I would like to share, first of all, the ideas of Swami Vivekananda on this subject. At the outset, let us know what is the dream. What is our dream about India? Then only afterwards we will come to know what are our plus points, what are our minus points, what are our problems, how to manage the problems, how to reach that goal, how to fulfill the dream. But we must know what is our dream. Do we want to make India a developed country? Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has written the book India 2020 Vision of the New Millennium, where he has given a blueprint how with the 5 areas, working with in 5 areas, we could reach a stage where we would become a developed country, one of the 5 great countries of the world by 2020. I hope you must have read the book. The book is available with the bookshop here. But do we want that India becomes developed country? Is that all that we want? Do we want India to be a developed country like America, Japan, Sweden? These are the 3 countries. They are developed countries, highest per capita income, with highest number of suicides, highest number of mental patients. According to National Institute of Mental Health in America, on an average at least one person regularly visits a psychiatrist. According to Ministry of Health Japan, 42% of the employers of 44 years and above are suffering from mental disorder. 100 new mental hospitals opening on an emergency scale. So many books are being published which are all becoming bestseller. Derek Humphreys written book, the name of the book is Final Exit. The book is Exit, not available in the market. With great difficulty I got one copy in a book fair. I wanted to know what is written there. Do you know what is written there? How to commit suicide. Selling like hotcake. The bestseller book in Japan is the complete manual on committing suicide. 3.5 lakhs copies sold in 1 year. France, the bestseller book, Suicide Users Manual. They all want to commit suicide. Do we want to become a developed country where our people would be committing suicides, will become mental patients, where in the schools the students will come and fire at the teachers and the students like Colombian school? What type of country we want to make India? Do we want a family system like that? Do we want to become a developed country where the divorce rates are increasing at an alarming speed? Previously, only 1/3 of the marriages were resulting in divorces. Now, 2/3 of the marriages are now turning into divorces. And when I went to UK in 2004 to participate in the Second International Conference Disaster Management, I happened to meet some people in Coventry, some of our devotees. And they said, we are all okay, very good, life is going on well after retirement. My son has taken up the business. Only one problem. My son says, I don't want to marry. 44 years age, he says, I don't want to marry. Then another gentleman, he says, everything is fine. I have got a daughter who works in Birmingham. She comes every weekend to say hello. Everything is fine. She is working in a bank, earning a good amount of money. But only problem, she says, I don't want to marry. 40 years old. What is the problem? They don't want to get married in America or UK in other countries. Why? They said, we don't want to burn our fingers. Marrying means burning fingers, because our friends have got married. After 2-3 years they got separated, they got divorced, and the cost of divorce is more than the cost of marriage. In America and UK, the advocates charge heavy fees. Here the charges are less by the advocates. So why to pay money to the advocates, again marry, then because separation is a must within 2-3 years maximum. So why this marrying, and why again divorce? Why to go for marriage? Na rahega baas, na bajegi bansuri. So the animals are not marrying. Why should we marry? So become animals. This is the value system. Do we want that value system to come to India? The other day I was in a Delhi public school in Nadiyad. One girl student, while giving a farewell address, was weeping. After that, when I spoke, I said, I am so happy that she wept. Why? Because only in India you find a student is weeping, leaving the teachers. In America or in other countries, you won't find that bond between teacher and student. This Guru-Shishya relationship is not there. I am so happy even today. Our students are keeping up that tradition. In families, many girls come to me. They are staying in hostels. Swami ji, mummy ki yaad bahut aati. मतलब बहुत अच्छा है. अमेरिका यूरोप में तो मम्मी की याद नहीं आती. क्यों? 2 मम्मी 4 पापा, किसको याद करे किसको ना करे. यहाँ तुम्हारी एक मम्मी एक पापा इसलिए याद करते हैं. पापा मम्मी तुमको देखते हैं, तुम उनको देखती हो. That is why you are remembering. That's a good thing. So this is the value system that we are having. So we must know what type of country we want. Simply a developed country? No. Swami Vivekananda has given us a dream. As you know, just now you heard Swami Vivekananda went to America to participate in the World's Parliament of Religions. Before that he had been traveling all over the country. Once he took up sannyasa, then he was traveling all over the country. In 1892, in the month of April, he came to Baroda. And the historic Dilara bungalow in which Swami Vivekananda himself stayed as the guest of the then Diwan Manibhai Jasbhai. In April 1892, that bungalow was given to us through Ramakrishna Mission by the government of Gujarat for converting the befitting memorial of Swami Vivekananda. Many activities have been started. You are all most welcome there. From here, he went to Bombay, on to Mahabaleshwar, and then he reached Kanyakumari, the last bit the last corner of our motherland country. And there he saw a rock far away in the ocean. He just jumped into the sea, and by swimming among those waves, reached that rock, and there he meditated for 3 days and 3 nights, 24, 25, 26th of December 1892. And he did not meditate on a god or goddess. No. He meditated on Mother India. He had seen with his own eyes for last 7 years the miserable plight of the country, of his countrymen. He had gone to the villages, priestcraft, illiteracy, poverty, casteism, superstition. All these things he had seen with his own eyes, the miserable plight of the people. He meditated on the miserable condition of the people of the country that he had seen. He also meditated on the great glorious past of India, when India was the best country in the whole world. When India was called Sone ki Chidiya, it was so prosperous economically, and in every field India was at the top. In music, in dance, in drama, in literature, in storytelling, in games, sports, sculpture, architecture, science, technology, geometry, algebra, engineering. In every field India was on the top. Of course in philosophy, with Vedanta philosophy it is top. In philosophy, in religion, India was in the top. In every field Swami Vivekananda meditated on that glorious past of India. And then he meditated on the golden future of the country. How India can become a great country, and how the past glory can come to India. He thought about the matter. What is the problem? India was so great. Then what happened? Why we had 1,000 years of slavery? Is it because of our religion? He discovered no. Because our Vedanta philosophy is the highest. Then what went wrong? It is not because of our Vedanta, not because of our philosophy, not because of our religion. But when we stopped applying the principles of Vedanta to everyday life, all people going for nirvana, with the influence of Jain and Buddhistic philosophy, all started going for nirvana. But Indian values were dharma, artha, kam and moksha, 4 purusharthas. But we went only for nirvana. And abhyudaya and nishreyasa, these are the 2 values which our Indian philosophers had told. Abhyudaya, prosperity. Nishreyasa, salvation. Spirituality. We want a very nice combination of material prosperity coupled with spiritual prosperity. But we forgot about the material prosperity, went only for spiritual prosperity. And that is why, and we forgot, and we stopped applying the principles of Vedanta. He had seen with his own eyes what had happened. When he was going through these streets of South India, he saw one person was going along the street, and he was shouting in his own language, and the people were running away. Then he said, what is this? What is this fellow saying? He said, this person is an untouchable. He is a pariah. So, in our state, this is the custom. If a pariah goes, he has to announce so that his reflection does not fall on anybody. Otherwise, that person will have to take a bath, and he will get polluted, and this person will be punished. That is why this person, in order to save himself from that punishment, he is calling at the top of his voice, please go away, I'm a pariah. Swamiji started weeping. What is this? This is India. This is my motherland. In our scriptures, it has been told, Tvam Sri, Tvam Pumanasi, Tvam Kumar, Tva Kumari, Tvam Jino, Dandena Vanchasi, Tvam Jato Bhavasi, Vishwato Mukha. O Lord, you are present in every human being. You are present in every young man, every young woman, in the old man that is tottering with a stick. You are the old man tottering with the sick. You are present everywhere. That is our Vedanta says. And in application, Duram Apsarre Chandal. You are a pariya. Get away from me. Your reflection should not fall on me. This is what we did. We did not practice the Vedanta philosophy that we were preaching. And the moment we started, that is why he was asked this question in America when he was talking too much about Indian spiritual culture. He said, he was asked this question, then why your country was conquered and was, he said, yes, we made two sins. We committed two sins. And as a propitiation of these two sins, we are suffering for last 1,000 years. What are the two sins? Number one, atrocities on our women. Atrocities on our women. We told, in our scripture it is told, Yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devata. Wherever women are worshipped, even the gods themselves come to play. This is what we told orally. And in practice, we worship the women. How? Not by flowers, by stick and stones. Atrocities on women. And second, neglect of the masses. The masses, the poor people, the illiterate people, the lower caste people were trodden by the Brahmins, by the higher caste. And Swami Vivekananda said, law of karma is supreme. A time will come when these lower caste people will come up and then they are going to take the whole revenge. The time has come. You know, those parties who are taking the votes of the lower caste, they are now coming up. Tomorrow, she may be in the Prime Minister's seat also. Who knows? I am not naming. You know, from UP. Already statues have come up. This is what Swamiji predicted. It has to come. So neglect of the masses and atrocities in women, we did not apply. So Swamiji thought, what is the solution? We will have to bring back that Vedanta. And that Vedanta is made practical in everyday life. Then only India will prosper. But then again he remembered the message of his Guru Sri Ramakrishna. He said, no religion with empty stomach. Bhooke pet dharm nahi suhata. First of all, fill the belly. Nobody will listen to your Vedantic message with empty stomach. So then he decided, I will cross the ocean, go to America, and bring science and technology from there, bring money from there, wealth from there, and improve the economic condition of the masses, and then give them the nectar of Vedanta. And then again the whole country will get regenerated. With that thing, it is not only to participate in the World Parliament of Religions, Chicago. It is not only to spread Hinduism that Swami Vivekananda went. One of the important reasons was to bring salvation to the poor people who were suffering. His heart was beating, and that is why when he went and on that 11th September 1893 delivered his historic speech. That was also 9/11. But we did not listen to his speech of religion, harmony of religion, so another 9/11 on 2001. But that day he gave his historic speech. Within one day he became world famous. Just one day earlier he had to take shelter in a railway station, Chicago railway station, in a coach, without any, there was so much of cold, he had no clothes to wear, so he had to take shelter under a wagon. But within one day he became world famous, and the doors of the richest person of America opened up for him, and he was made to reside in one aristocratic family, and they had made a very good bed for him. It was a very nicely furnished room, nicely furnished house. He was made to rest there. But next day morning, when the landowner saw Swamiji was not on his bed, he was on the floor, and the whole floor was wet with tears. And the owner was very much perturbed. Swamiji, have we made any mistake in our hosting you? Then Swamiji said, no, none of your mistakes. Whole night he wept. The day he became world famous, whole night he wept. Why? He thought, he wept and prayed to Divine Mother, oh Mother, here in America they are having such luxuries, but in my country people do not have even food to eat. People are dying of starvation. When will good days come to my countrymen? And like that he wept and prayed, let the good days come. So many times Swamiji wept for the poor people. That is why he wrote also, I am no philosopher, nay, no saint, I am poor, I love the poor. He had seen, for him, he himself had undergone so many times he had to starve as a beggar monk when he did not have anything to eat, and he had to be satisfied with water of the river. So he had seen the pangs of hunger. He had felt and experienced. That is why he felt for the poor people. So that is why in America he felt like that. He stayed there for 4 years, collected some money so that he could start a project in India for alleviating the poverty of the poor people. In 1897 he came back, and wherever he went, he was given a very hearty welcome, warm welcome. In reply to that welcome, Swamiji delivered so many inspiring speeches, fiery speeches, very inspiring, electrifying speeches. And that is why he came, at that time Colombo was in India. From Colombo he landed, from there to Rameshwaram, on to Chennai, from there to Calcutta, so many places. Last was Almora. So all the lectures that he delivered were collected, and the name of the book was Lectures from Colombo to Almora. It became a very famous book, and later on the same book has now come in a new form, My India, the India Eternal. Very beautiful book, very inspiring speeches. On 30th March 2008, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam had come to Baroda. I didn't know about his program earlier. Then I told, no, you must come to our ashrama here also, like Porbandar. Porbandar he had come twice. I said in Baroda also Swami Vivekananda himself stayed. So he changed his program and he gave 5 minutes, but of course he spent half an hour with us. At that time I presented him this copy with page marks. I said, whatever you are talking about today, about the development of the nation, Swami Vivekananda talked about it more than 100 years back. I read out to him the portions. He was amazed. How could Swamiji anticipate the problems that are going to come in the country? And he has given solutions to all the problems. Those inspiring speeches afterwards were read by the great patriots of our country, the great revolutionaries of our country. They got charged. There was a schoolboy studying in Cuttack High School in 9th standard, and he came across this book, such book of Swami Vivekananda. Immediately he was inspired and determined, I will sacrifice his whole life for the sake of the nation. And he became Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Chakravarti Rajgopalacharya, Sri Aurobindo, Mahatma Gandhi, all of them, they got inspiration from the books of Swami Vivekananda. Mahatma Gandhi, when he came to Belumat, our headquarters, on 6th February 1921, he was told, Gandhiji, please give lecture. So Gandhiji said, I have not come here to give lecture, I have come here to pay my homage to the great memory of Swami Vivekananda. But I will tell only one thing to the youngsters present here. When you come to this great place, don't go empty-handed. Take some of the great inspiration from this great place. And then Gandhiji said, please read the books of Swami Vivekananda. And then he said, I myself gone through the books of Swami Vivekananda, and after going through the books of Swami Vivekananda, the love that I had for my country became 1,000-fold. All of patriots, they got inspiration from the books of Swami Vivekananda. Not only that, Patravali, the first revolution against the British came in 1857, but afterwards it did not work, and the second awakening came in 1905 when the government of Bengal, that time Calcutta was the capital of British government, when they decided that there will be partition in two parts of Bengal, East Bengal and West Bengal. When that partition came, as a revolution to that partition, anti-partition revolutionary forces came up. With that, the new awakening came. But that new awakening was due to the books of Swami Vivekananda. Particularly the two books, Lectures from Colombo to Almora, which has now come in the new form, My India, the India Eternal, and Letters of Swami Vivekananda, Patravali in Bengali. So, when the CID department people, they used to go to the revolutionaries' houses to find out whether there is any bomb or not. Sometimes they would get bombs, sometimes they would not get. But two bombs they always got. What are the two bombs they always got? One, a book of Swami Vivekananda, another a book of Bhagavad Gita. And that is why the Intelligence Department wrote to the British government, unless until you put a ban on the books of Swami Vivekananda, we will not be contained, we will not be able to contain these revolutionaries. So dangerous are the books of Swami Vivekananda. They were called dangerous books, and that is why Dr. Radhakrishnan says, when we used to write letters to our friends, we used to quote all the letters of Swami Vivekananda in our letters. Why? Because if we exchange the books of Swami Vivekananda, we will be caught by the CID department. That is why, this is how Dr. Radhakrishnan says we used to derive inspiration from the books of Swami Vivekananda. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru says, hardly there was a young person in our times who did not get inspiration from the books of Swami Vivekananda and do some work for the nation. So almost all of them, they derived inspiration. Swami Vivekananda gave a clarion call wherever he went. Uttisthata, Jagrata, Prapyavaran Nibodhata. Taking that sentence from the Kathopanishad and making a free translation of that in his own way. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached, and the whole country got awakened. 1,000 years of slavery under British rule, but all of them, they got awakened, and all of them started working. And Swami Vivekananda gave a vision. He was a visionary. He was not an astrologer, but whatever he has said has come true. In 1897, in his lecture on my plan of campaign, he said, within 50 years, India shall become independent from the British rule under unforeseen circumstances without waging a war. Nobody ever dreamt that British will ever leave India, and nobody ever thought of it. That time they wanted only a few more rights from British government. Nobody ever dreamt about it. Nobody ever dreamt about non-cooperation movement that was to come with Mahatma Gandhi when he came later on in 1915. But 1897, Swami Vivekananda predicted, within 50 years, India shall become independent from British rule under unforeseen circumstances. Exactly after 50 years, 1947, India became independent under unforeseen circumstances. This is what has happened. In 1893, when Swami Vivekananda went to participate in the World Parliament of Religions, before he went to Chicago, he was in Boston. And that time he came in contact with a professor of the Harvard University, Professor John Henry Wright. And at his house, Mrs. Wright writes in her diary, suddenly while talking one day on a parlor meeting, Swami Vivekananda said, when Britishers will leave India, there is a great danger that China may attack India. Nobody ever thought that Britishers will leave India. That time he said that after Britishers leave India, there is a danger that China may attack India, and that really happened in 1962. Then Swami Vivekananda predicted, I am seeing with my own eyes, the next great upheaval that is to come will be either from China or Russia. At that time, nobody ever dreamt that the next great upheaval will come from China or Russia, because there was no trade union movement there. Trade union movement was very strong in Germany. Even Karl Marx himself thought that socialism will start with Germany. He never thought about China or Russia. But it really happened. Though there were so many peasants in Russia, the communism came first in Russia, what Swamiji had predicted. So Swamiji was not an astrologer. He was a visionary. But of course he was a great reader he had made a great study of the history. But apart from that, he meditated deeply. And that is why he was a visionary. He could visualize the things to come. He could visualize the problems that India will be facing. And he has given a solution to all the problems. And that is why he gave a clarion call. Arise, awake, and stop not till the God is it. And the whole country got awakened. And they fulfilled the first dream of Swami Vivekananda exactly within 50 years as Swamiji had wanted. 1947, India became independent. But after independence, what happened? After independence, we forgot the message of Swami Vivekananda and all started filling up their own pockets. Main, meri bibi, mera bachcha, mera makan, desh jai bhad mein. All had got one mantra from top minister down to the peon, to the everyone. मैं मेरी बीवी मेरा बच्चा मेरा मकान देश जाए भाड़ में समाज जाए भाड़ में. This everybody became selfish. We forgot the message of the love for the country, the patriotism. We all forget those ideas. Swamiji had told, arise, awake and stop not till the goal is reached. What did we do? We got aroused, we got awakened, then we went to sleep. Swamiji did not say arise, awake and go to sleep. उठो जागो और सो जाओ. स्वामी जी ने कहा उठो जागो, जब तक लक्ष्य प्राप्त नहीं होता तब तक रुको मत. And what was the message? What was the dream of Swami Vivekananda? Was it independence? No. Swami Vivekananda said in his lecture in Calcutta, he says, there have been great conquering races in the world. We also have been great conquerors. The story of our conquest has been described by that noble emperor of India, Ashoka, as the conquest of religion and of spirituality. Once more the world must be conquered by India. Once more the world must be conquered by India. This is the dream of my life. This is the dream of my life. This is the dream. This is the dream. Conquest of the whole world by India, not by nuclear bomb. This is the great ideal before us, and everyone must be ready for it. The conquest of the whole world by India, nothing less than that. And we must all get ready for it, strain every nerve for it. Up India and conquer the world with your spirituality. This is what Swamiji told in 1897 in Calcutta. After his return from the United States, we have yet to achieve this dream. We have to work for that dream. Conquest of the whole world by Indian spiritual culture. Already it has started. Just on 30th of last month, I was at Ahmedabad. There was a special training program by Baroda Management Association. The program was Management Leadership, the fourth wave. And at that time I told, the fourth wave of management has already come. The first wave of management was the British style of management. Second wave was the American style of management when Peter Drucker became the guru of all. The third wave of management was the Japanese style of management. TQ became in vogue and ISO became in vogue. And now the fourth wave is slowly coming all over the world, not only in India. And that is the holistic style of management based on Vedanta and Indian ethos. It has already come. So many multinational companies in America are having regular courses on stress management based on holistic method, holistic philosophy of Gita and Upanishads. Many places. In India also gradually it is coming. But we want imported, imported things we like. Imported car, imported pen, imported meditation, imported spirituality we want. Same Indian ethos when it will come. When Deepak Chopra came, when we organize meditation sessions, we do not charge, we don't want to sell knowledge. So very few people come for our meditation classes because it is free. But when Deepak Chopra came, he said 85,000 rupees per participant. There was waiting list. Only 385 people they were to be accommodated. There was waiting list. Because only 85,000 rupees per participant. Because it is imported meditation, It is coming from America. Same being, first of all we exported, now then we are importing. But whatever it is, everywhere now they are going for meditation yoga. That is why in the newspaper there was news item, Americans going gaga over yoga. 75% of the fitness clubs are having regular courses on yoga and meditation. And 118 medical schools out of 135 medical schools in America are having regular courses on alternative medicine, including yoga and meditation. According to Time magazine, 4th August 2003, there was a special issue with the front cover showing a Hollywood actress meditating. Inside story was, just say Om. And there it was written, 10 millions of Americans are having regular meditation in America. You cannot avoid meditation in America now. Schools, colleges, education institutions, prison houses, courts, hospitals, airports, railway platforms, everywhere there are meditation chambers. In 2004 when I was coming back from Europe to India, my return flight was from Switzerland to Bombay. At Switzerland, in Zurich airport, I was strolling through the airport to find out some book in the market, very big market they have placed. Suddenly I found one signboard, meditation chamber, at Zurich airport. Beautiful meditation chamber they have made. Everywhere in America, Europe, they are going for meditation, yoga. So what Swami Vivekananda predicted, India will be conquered with Indian spiritual culture. The whole world will be conquered by Indian spiritual culture. That is coming true in a small way. But of course, we have a long way to go. Because before we become the world conquerors, we must set our home right. We must become a developed country, because otherwise say, oh, you are a developing country and you want to become our guru. 22% of your people are below poverty line, 35% are illiterate, and you dare to teach us? So we don't have credibility at present. If at all we have to have credibility, we must become a developed country, and then only we will be able to become the world teachers as Swami Vivekananda predicted. So before we fulfill the dream of Swami Vivekananda of conquering the whole world by our spiritual culture, we must fulfill the dream of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, that is India 2020, vision of the new millennium. We must become a developed country. How to do that? On 16th April 2003, I was at Rashtrapati Bhavan talking to Dr. Kalam. I had gone there to present a video CD that we had prepared based on the speech that he had delivered on 13th February 2002 at Porbandar, talking to 3,000 students while inaugurating one of the 81 school buildings constructed by us as a part of earthquake rehabilitation project. And he had delivered a beautiful speech. So we had prepared a CD, I presented, we had a lot of talks, and during my talks I said, so Dr. Kalam, you want to make India a developed country by 2020, I'm very happy to know. We are also working for making India a great country, because Swami Vivekananda dreamt that India will become great, and we are trying in our own way to make India a great country. But I tell you one thing, even if you bring the wealth of the whole World Bank, you may bring any amount of wealth from World Bank for your 5-year plans, and already plans you have presented yourself in that book. Even if you do that, the poor of our country will remain poor. I told in 2003, when our GDP rate was not yet 9.5, but last year with 9.5% GDP rate, 22% below poverty line, exactly this happened. But I had predicted in 2003. He said, why Swamiji, why? I said, for the simple reason, the former Prime Minister of India said, I didn't give the name but everybody knows, the former Prime Minister of India said, if you put 1 rupee into the 5-year plan, only 15 paisa comes to the grassroots level farmer. I am afraid even 5 paisa is coming on it now. And by the time the farmer gets 5 paisa, he has committed suicide. It takes such a long time to trickle down, and from minister down to the secretary, and then to the joint secretary, and then to the DDO and BDO and IS officer, and then to the Karmachari. By the time it comes, only 15 paisa. All have taken some money out of it. They say, I have taken only 5 paisa. He said, I have also taken 5 paisa. I have taken 5 paisa out of 1 rupee. And ultimately only 15 paisa. That time used to remain. I think even now it will be still less. And the whole process takes such a long time. By the time the poor farmer has committed suicide. So, we have become economic superpower. Very good. Wheat production number 1, milk production number 1, remote satellite 1, science and technology number 4, space technology we are number 4. We are going ahead. IT sector, software industry, everywhere we are going ahead. In every sector we are having great progress. Very good. But with all that, let us not forget 22% below poverty line, 35% illiterate. Why so? Because we did not listen to the message of Swami Vivekananda. We forgot that message after independence. Swami Vivekananda said, as long as millions of our people are living in ignorance and poverty, I hold every educated person a traitor. He uses a very harsh word. I hold every educated person a traitor who, having been educated at their expense, pays not the least heed to them. We are all traitors, and that is why this is the situation. I told Dr. Kalam, the rampant corruption in the country today, and that is why the poor will remain poor. What is the solution, Swamiji? He asked me. I said, only one solution. What we should have done on 15th August 1947, we should do it now. What is that? Swami Vivekananda said, education alone is the punish of all our evils. But what type of education? Not the type of education we are giving in our education institutions. No. What Swami Vivekananda said is, what we want is man-making education, character-building education. And sometimes I jokingly said, what we are giving is not man-making education, demon-making education. Rakshasa-making education. terrorists making education. Yes, these all terrorists are highly educated in our own institution. They are all highly educated. All these IAS officers, you know, one IAS officer, 120 crores rupees. Just now, recently, you must have read in newspaper, one in Raipur, Chhattisgarh, one IAS officer, 120 crores. Only one officer. You can imagine how many such officers are there. And of course, ministers, I did not tell. Every day you are reading in the newspaper how much corruption, rampant corruption. Transparency International made a survey. What are the 10 great countries having highest rate of corruption? And one of them is Mera Bharat Mahan, our country, India. One of the top 10 countries having highest rate of corruption. And the highest corruption is in the field of education. We want to bring down corruption by proper type of education, but in the education itself, highest corruption. 21,600 crores rupees of corruption was done only in the field of education as per the report of Transparency International in only the field of education. Where do you go? With education, you want to change the world, you want to change the society. In that education itself, there is so much of corruption. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell a story. There was a person who was haunted by a ghost. So they brought an oza. You know, an oza. Bhuwa ne bola wo. Bhuwa, oza. Charmer. With his charmer. So he came down and started reciting the mantras and took up some mustard seeds to throw on the person so that ghost has to go away from his head. Now this ghost was very intelligent. He understood these are all very powerful mantras. So he immediately went and entered into the mustard seeds by which this fellow was trying to throw a mustard seed. Now, if the mustard seeds themselves contain the ghost, how are you going to remove the ghost? We want to remove corruption by education. In the education itself, there is the ghost of corruption. How do you remove? How do you remove corruption? This is our predicament. This is the story. And that is why I told what Swami Vivekananda said, man making education, we are giving Rakshasa making education. Rakshasa is not only with two horns. Who is a Rakshasa? Bharata says there are 4 types of people in the society. Number 1, ete satpurusha parartha ghatka swarthan parityajye samanyastu parartha muddem abrata swartha virodhane tevi manav rakshasa parahitam swarthaye nignanti ye nignanti nirarsakam parahitam teke na janimah. 4 types of people in the society. Number 1, satpurusha, good people, excellent human beings. They try to do good to others at the cost of themselves by sacrificing their life. Second, samanya manusha, ordinary human beings, they first try to do good to themselves and then they try to do good to others. Third, mano rakshasa, they're looking like human beings but rakshasa. What are they? For their small self-interest, they can do any amount of harm to others. Take 10 lakhs rupees from under the table. The executive engineer takes 10 lakhs of rupees from under the table and tells the builder, you can mix any amount of sand with cement. And that builder mixes only more of sand and very less of cement and constructs a check dam, and there is heavy rain and the check dam gets burst. Thousands of people become homeless, hundreds of people die, crores of rupees of loss to the nation. But the engineer says, koi baat nahi, mera to makan ban gaya, 10 lakh mein desh jaye bhad mein. Executive engineer, doctors, chartered accountants, managers, every field you will get such type of demons, manav rakshasa. You can see for yourself. And 4 type of people says, but he says, 4 type of people taken as anime. I can't give the name because they are worse than the manav rakshasa. 3rd type of people, they, for their small self-interest, they can do any amount of harm to others. 4th type of people, they don't derive any benefit, but they enjoy others' downfall. And that's all. किसी के घर में आग लग गई, very good, मजा आ गया. Somebody house is burning, enjoy. But did you get any benefit? नहीं, बहुत मजा आ गया, उसके घर में आग लग गई. So they enjoy others' downfall, they enjoy others' harm. This is the 4th type. And now I made a latest research, the 5th type also. Maybe Bharata time they are not available. I can't give the name, I can tell you what do they do. 4 type of people, they don't derive any benefit, they enjoy others' downfall. But the 5th type, they enjoy others' downfall and others' harm so much, by harming themselves they do harm to others. So they will sit down in an aeroplane, strike with the world tower. I am dead, doesn't matter, but I have killed 5,000 people. क्या मजा आ गया, 5,000 को मार डाला. मेरी एक आंख भले फूट जाए, पर पड़ोसी की दोनों आंख फूट जाए, अंधा होकर के कुएं में गिर के मर जाए, क्या मजा आ गया. I have become blind, but the neighbor has gone and has died in the well by becoming fully blind. So happy. In our society today, Manav Rakshas are plenty. Demons in the form of human, plenty. Fourth type also is there, fifth type is also there. Samanya Manusha, very few. Satpurusha, we have to see with the microscope. Not available. That is why Swami Vivekananda said 100 years back, what we want is man-making education, character-building education, but we are giving demon-making education. So I told Dr. Kalam the only solution is providing man-making, character-building education. Then I told in Ramakrishna Mission we have so many institutions, 6 lakh students studying in 6,000 education institutions, where we are trying to give this man-making education, making them enlightened citizens. Apart from that, we are going to so many other schools and colleges taking the message of value education. And we have some special institutions to become as a resource person. Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence Hyderabad, Ramakrishna Institute of Moral and Spiritual Education Mysore, and I told we are going to start Vivekananda Institute of Value Education and Culture at Porbandar, and you must come to inaugurate it. He said, yes Swamiji, I'll come. And he kept his promise. 12 January 2006, Swami Vivekananda's birthday. As you know, it is celebrated as a National Youth Day. So he came there, he gave a very inspiring speech in which he told how Swami Vivekananda inspired Jamshedji Tata to start Indian Institute of Science while they were traveling from Japan to America. Both were in the same ship, no plane at that time, no aeroplane. In the same ship, they were together for many days. At that time, Swamiji Vivekananda had inspired Jamshedji Tata. This is what he told. And then, after his very inspiring speech, he answered the questions. Answer to some of the very beautiful questions put forth by the students. That video CD is available. You must all see that video CD. Wonderful question answer session. Only one question I will share with you. One student stood up and said, sir, Operation Duryodhan, Operation Chakravyuh and other operations have revealed the tip of the iceberg that is rampant corruption in the country today. As the President of India, how do you feel about it? And where do you think lies the solution? Dr. Kalam stood up and said, you know, the Parliament has already taken some action on the MPs who have done this. And then he took out a book from Swami Vivekananda and read out a passage from the book of Swami Vivekananda, in which Swami Vivekananda says, no amount of Parliament acts can make a nation good and can make a nation great. Then what can make a nation good and what can make a nation great? Again he read out, only a large number of good enlightened citizens, a large number of good enlightened people can make a nation good and can make a nation great. And then he said, and the government cannot produce good people and the government will not produce good people. That also he told. Then who can do it? He said only 3 persons can do it. Father, mother and the teacher. Nobody else can do it. So we have to strengthen our family system, and we have to make man-making education. We have to introduce in our education institutions. We have to have a value-oriented education. Then only there will be a paradigm shift, and then only corruption will be. Because there are so many students, when I go to so many schools and colleges talking to the students, the school authority says, Swamiji, you come to talk to our students, they are very good. Why don't you give your discourse to these ministers? They are eating away so much of fodder. 10,000 crores of rupees of fodder they are eating away. They are eating away so much. Why don't you talk to them? I said, I go to them also. I go to them also. Not that I don't go to them. I go to IAS officers. I have program and the Chinta Shivir. I talk to the IAS officers, other officers, then ministers. At a very level we try to go. But one thing is there. जो दूध बिगड़ गया वो काम में नहीं आता. जो दूध नहीं बिगड़ा है उसको बचाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. The milk that has been spoiled cannot be used. The milk which has not been spoiled, these children have got pure mind. So we are trying to protect these children, but that milk has already spoiled. Very difficult. We are trying our best for many years, but we know it is of no use. But still, we are not given up the hope. We are not given up the milk. We are trying to make paneer out of it. We are trying to make paneer out of the polluted minds. We are not given up. But real thing is here. If you bring the magic formula, magic lantern, magic lamp, education, if you bring value education to the students, and that is why there was an All India Youth Convention during the centenary of Ramakrishna Mission in 1998. 1897, Swami Vivekananda started Ramakrishna Mission. As per his This was his dream. So he brought a little money. With that he started Ramakrishna Mission to implement the message of his Guru Sri Ramakrishna, worship of God in human beings. Shiva Jnana Jiva Seva. He said God is present in temples, in churches and mosques, all the places, but most important, God is present in every human being. And that is why Swami Vivekananda gave the message to his disciples. So far you had heard the message. What is that? Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. I am giving you some additional mantras which are more important for the modern world. And what is that? Daridra Devo Bhava, Rogi Devo Bhava, Chandal Devo Bhava. Worship the God who is present in poor people, who in the sick people. Worship the God who is present in the wicked people. 2 days back I was in Baroda Central Jail talking to the prisoners. I asked them, you must be surprised how a monk comes here, but I have come here for a special purpose, and that is कैदी नारायण की सेवा करना है. गरीब नारायण की सेवा, रोगी नारायण की सेवा तो रोज करते हैं, आज कैदी नारायण की सेवा करना है. They were so much happy, they clapped. Yes, you are Narayan. God is present in you also. There is a small screen. Remove the screen. You are a saint. You are future saints sitting here in the form of prisoners. The divinity is there in every human being. That is the message of Vedanta. That is the message for which Sri Ramakrishna Swami Vivekananda came. And that is the magic lamp bringing this Vedanta message every core, in the prison houses, in the schools, in the colleges, everywhere. So this value-oriented education is coming. And that is why Swami Vivekananda started that Ramakrishna mission. So he started in 1897. So 1998 we had the centenary celebration of Ramakrishna mission, and there was an All India Youth Convention. And after my lecture there was some question answer session. So 10,000 people, so many questions had come. So I selected a few questions. Now one of the young student, he asked a very beautiful question. He said, Swamiji, we are very much impressed by you with your love for the country and your thoughts and all that. Why don't you join politics? Why don't you join politics and bring and fulfill the dream of Swami Vivekananda? I said, that's very good suggestion. Thank you for the compliments. But Swami Vivekananda started Ramakrishna Mission, and he said the first condition that the monks will not take part in politics. Number one. And only Miss Margaret Noble, he brought Miss Margaret Noble from England. She was a teacher, because he wanted that without women education, without women development, India's development will not take place. He wanted to start a school for the girls. At that time only 1% women were educated, so he wanted to have women education. So he could not get one, so he brought Miss Margaret Noble. He gave a clarion call, inspiring message to Miss Miss Margaret Noble, and she came and started the school in Calcutta. Now it is called Sister Nivedita's School, and that is why when he gave her Brahmacharya Diksha, he gave her the name Nivedita, the dedicated one, so Sister Nivedita. Afterwards Rabindranath Tagore called her Lok Mata Nivedita, and she was the inspiration source of so many revolutionaries. And being British, in spite of being British, she fought against British at that time. So Sister Nivedita, Swami Vivekananda brought her, but because she was taking part in politics, she had to resign from the membership of Ramakrishna Mission, because that was the rule made by Swami Vivekananda, that we are basically, it's a spiritual organization where we will have nothing to do with politics. But then I added, we cannot take part in politics. Even we don't give votes. What to take vote? Taking votes. We don't give votes. But for that doesn't matter. We are not bothered about the problems of the nation. We are very much bothered. We also, like Swami Vivekananda, weep for the poverty of the people. And we are not sitting tight. We are trying to do in our own way. Trying to bring about that revolution in our own way. So, what is that? We cannot become Prime Minister. We cannot become Chief Minister. We cannot become ministers. But then, what we can do is, we can make better Prime Ministers, better Chief Ministers, better IAS officers, better IPS officers, better judges, better managers, executives out of you who have come here to listen to us. And then they were very happy. The future IAS officers, the future IPS officers, the future ministers, they are all in the schools and colleges. If you can transform their character, then tomorrow is going to be a bright future day. So this is our working. We have to start working at that level, at the grassroots level. And that is what we are trying to do, bringing about a silent revolution. We are not sitting tight. Silent revolution by protecting the milk so that it is not spoiled. Trying to make paneer out of the spoiled milk. But more important, to see that the milk which is pure, these youngsters, they are really highly idealistic. They are very intelligent. They want to do something for the nation. They are having open ideas. They are not narrow-minded. They believe in the harmonic religions. They are very open-minded. They are not narrow-minded. So, we are working with the youth. And we have youth conventions. We have these value education programs in schools and colleges. And we are trying to bring about that silent revolution. And that is how we are trying to fulfill the dream of Swami Vivekananda. Number one, making India a developed country. Number two, India shall conquer the world by its spiritual power. And that also simultaneously we are doing. But it's a paradox. At present, our Indian youth are going for blind imitation of Western materialistic culture. The Western youth are going now for Indian meditation and yoga, and the Western youth are paradoxically going for blind imitation of Western materialistic culture. Swami Vivekananda said we must adopt good things from everywhere. He said what we want is Western science coupled with Vedanta. We want Western science and technology. Not only that, we want Western culture also. We want to have little materialism, a toned down materialism. He said, toned down to our requirements. But he was against blind imitation of Western materialistic culture. He said we must adopt good things from everywhere, all over the globe. And Swami Vivekananda talked about universal religion. We are now talking about globalization. Swamiji talked about 100 years back. He said what we want is a universal religion, a global religion, a global civilization. He talked about it. And for that he said, this Vedanta philosophy is the only philosophy which will bring about that. And he talked about, he has given the solution to all the problems of our nation. Number one, reservation. What he said, he has given the solution. I am giving only in a nutshell because the time is coming to an end. So I will just give you the nutshell. You think it over, you will get the solution. About reservation problem, he said, what we want is leveling up and not leveling down. He wanted each and every person will adopt the Brahmanistic culture, will become so cultured and educated that the gap between higher people, the gap will be breached between the higher caste and lower caste. That is how the lower caste people will be given so much opportunity to develop, and they will be having so much good samskaras. They will all become Brahmanic in nature. We are now going the other way around. Now even Brahmins are trying to get certificates from the collector, wrong certificate, so that he can get scheduled caste, scheduled type reservation and get admission. What a wonderful thing. Just a paradox. Swamiji wanted leveling up. We are going for leveling down. Number one. Second, national integration. Very big problem. National integration is big. Unless until we solve this problem, at present all our energies are going for solving our problems within rift ourselves. All the nations of the world are getting jealous of India. We have to fight with so many nations. China is jealous, America is jealous, Australians already doing so much of work, so much atrocity in our young people, they are all jealous. So we should fight with all the countries. Instead of that, we are fighting within ourselves. So national integration is united we prosper and divided we fall. And Swami Vivekananda said we have to learn this technique from Western countries. There is our idea of organization is not at all there. As individuals we are very good. But you know the story of Indian crab. We are like Indian crabs, pulling out others' legs. And so no lead required for Indian crabs. This is our situation because we have got jealousy. We cannot work in unison. So Swamiji wanted that we should learn that technique of organizing ourselves and working in a group. And national integration, he gave a beautiful solution. When Dr. Kalam became the president, of course he came twice to Porbandar. I had 16 meetings with him, Dr. Kalam, so he was close to us. So when I heard that he is going to become president, when the first time he came, he was not the president of India. So within 4 months he became the president. So I thought that afterwards he will become inaccessible. So I telephoned him that Dr. Kalam, now you are going to go to the president. You are going to become president. Everybody knew it. So I wanted to give advance congratulations because afterwards he will become inaccessible. In his character style he said, not for you Swamiji. And then he said, only the other day I remembered, only yesterday there was a press conference and I remembered you. Because they asked me, what is your message for the nation? And then I told them I have to give the same message that I gave 4 months back in Porbandar while talking to the youth. When a young girl said, what is your message for us? And I had told that girl at that time, my dear daughter, you will grow with the idea embedded in your mind that nation is more important than the individual. And that is my nation for the country today. That is what he said. I said yesterday, so I remembered you. And then I told Dr. Kalam about this, what are the ideas that are coming up, and then I met him afterwards. But at that time, I wrote a letter in which I quoted a letter of Swami Vivekananda, in which Swamiji Vivekananda wrote to Muhammad Sarfaraz Hussain of Nainital, who later on became Swami Muhammadananda. Muhammad Sarfaraz Hussain, he said, for our country what we want is Vedantic brain with Islamic body. And that combination will get us forward. What did he mean by that? He said, in Islam you find there is no caste system. All are equal. Anybody who is a Muslim is our brother. And here we got so much caste. So our organization, our social structure should follow Islamic body. Our body social structure should be Islamic. We should be all equal. But philosophy, Vedanta philosophy, because that is universal philosophy. Advaita Vedanta is the only philosophy that will exist, because the modern science is advancing at a high speed. Only a scientific religion will survive, and the Advaita Vedanta is a scientific religion. Rest all will go to pieces. So we want for our country and for the world Vedanta philosophy, but along with that we want Islamic body. And he said, I see in my mind's eye and in India coming up with Islamic body and Vedantic brain. And after quoting that letter, I said, what a wonderful thing that today an Islamic body with Vedantic brain is sitting as the president of India because he is Islamic body, and Vedantic brain, he reads Gita every day. So then afterwards he gave a reply, only one small sentence, Swamiji, I appreciate your comments. He gave an email. But this is what we want for national integration of all caste. And then about corruption, man-making education is the only solution. And then education of the masses. Unemployment problem, he had given the solution as self-employment is the only solution. And he had given all this poverty will be removed if all the corporate sector start practicing trusteeship management. I told about it in my last meeting, so I am not going to repeat it. When Swami Vivekananda went there, John D. Rockefeller, he gave the message of trusteeship management, which is now being followed by Bill Gates. He took it from David Rockefeller. And today he is reading the books of Swami Vivekananda, practicing the trusteeship management as told by Swami Vivekananda. If the corporate sector takes up the message of trusteeship management, as Azim Premji has taken up, as Narayan Murthy has taken up, as Jamsetji Tata has taken up, then other corporate sector people also take up the message of trusteeship management. Do something for the unprivileged people. Immediately the poverty will go, illiteracy will go, all the problems of the nation will be over. So Swamiji has given, we have got lot of melodies, but all the remedies have been given by Swami Vivekananda because he was a visionary. Only we have to study that book. I will request you to study this book, My India, the India Eternal. There is one small book, His Call to the Nation, where you will get very small sentences but very powerful sentences that will be given as a gift to all of you, because I want to see that no one of you misses that great message of Swami Vivekananda. In order to ensure that, I am investing some money, and I believe in the law of giving. So I am giving a small book as gift, very invaluable. Even one small sentence can transform one's life, and it has transformed many lives. So one book you will get as gift, another book and other CDs and other things you take, particularly My India and India Eternal, other books are there, because my time is coming to an end. So in this book you are going to get so many other solutions to the problem. I end with one solution that Swamiji has given. Miss MacLeod, she was a disciple of America. She did a lot of work for Swami Vivekananda. And when Ramakrishna Mission was started in Belumat, because she was in close touch with the highest people of British government. So she was from an aristocratic family. She helped Ramakrishna Mission a lot. One day she asked Swamiji, Swamiji, how can I serve you? And Swamiji replied, only one sentence he said, which is very relevant, which is the solution of all the problems our India is facing today. Swamiji told Miss MacLeod. Today, had Swamiji been alive, would have told the same thing to us. What did he say? Love India. Love India. That is the message today. If we start loving India, all problems will be solved. If we start really loving India, means Indian people, loving our poor people, loving the illiterate, loving the underprivileged, whatever small thing we can do at our own individual level, and then at the organizational level, then at the national level, but even at the individual level, if we start doing it, if we start having little love for our country and our countrymen, and how will love will come? When we will read this book like this, where Swami Vivekananda has already told how great was our great culture, spiritual culture, how great we have inherited that great culture, where so many people, Max Muller and so many other scholars have told that the greatest and the highest and the best culture anywhere in the world is that of India. Not only Indian people telling, even Americans, even other countries, so many thinkers, Tolstoy, they all have appreciated the Indian spiritual culture. And that is why even Will Dura has written the book, The Story of Civilization. You will find a whole chapter. India's contribution is unique in the world history. But for India, the whole world would have been destroyed long back. It is India, so India's role is double-fold. India has not only to become a developed country, India has to give that spiritual culture to the world, so that the whole world will not get destroyed. Swami Vivekananda was asked this question: you are a monk, why should you be talking about only India, my India, my India, India? Then Swami Vivekananda said, I am a monk and the whole world belongs to me. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I really believe in that. To me, what is India to me? The whole world belongs to me. As Buddha had a message to the East, I have a message to the West. And even the American government thinks that the great 100 builders of the modern America, one of them is Swami Vivekananda. So they also give that respect. But Swami Vivekananda said, the whole world can be saved only if India is saved. Because India's role has been to give spiritual culture to the whole world. And with this materialistic, Western materialistic culture, the whole world is going to get down. Suicide and mental passions. So for that, the nectar of Vedanta is very much required, which Swamiji gave at that time. Now it is much more required for stress management, this Vedantic nectar. That is the Indian spiritual culture is now penetrating. But it has to conquer the world. That will come up when we adopt this message of Swami Vivekananda. What is that? Love India. Let us start loving India, and then all the other things will follow. Once all the citizens of India, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality, when we start developing the love for our nation, love for our countrymen, when we start loving the great spiritual culture heritage that we have got, automatically all the problems will get solved. We will have unity among ourselves. With all the difference of opinion, we will not be quarreling, and once we stop quarreling, the whole world will be conquered very soon. I pray at the feet of Swami Vivekananda that may he give us the blessings so that we may be able to read the books and then imbibe the teachings and implement in our own individual life and the national life, and may he give us strength to fulfill his dream of India's conquest of the whole world. Thank you very much.